Hello my loves, welcome back. It's been so long since I spoke to you last. I actually don't know how many weeks I've had off, but it's definitely been long enough. I missed you guys, but we are back. Woo! It's September. I'm not sure how that's happened. I feel like September is basically Halloween, and then Halloween's basically Christmas, which is the end of the year. So that's a little bit scary, but we're not there yet. We're in September, and I actually feel like the transition into September is probably my favourite one. I feel like September's a really good month. It's back to school vibes. It's a chance to rethink your goals for the end of the year, knuckle down a little bit, get a bit more serious about stuff. Any change that happens, I feel like September's a good time to implement it because we've all had our summer breaks. Hope you all had a good one, by the way. I had a hot girl brat summer. It's been a lot of fun. I'll fill you in later. But yeah, I feel ready to be back. It actually was really good for me to have a break, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I was experiencing probably a little bit of burnout. And obviously when you stop and then you get to look back, you're like, oh, actually, I really did need that. So yeah, I'm feeling recharged, feeling much better. And yeah, so excited to get back into it. So let's go straight into this week's story. I've got to read it from my laptop this week, which is why I am looking down. In case you're watching me, remember you can watch me on Spotify now as well. We've got video podcasts on there. Just a shout out. Shout out to Spotify. Okay. My ex would always sleep with his phone in his pocket, which I always thought was a red flag, obviously, but didn't think too much into it. I'm sorry, since when have you got pockets in bed? Do pyjama bottoms have pockets in them big enough for a phone? I feel like the only pockets I've had in pyjamas are for show purposes only, because what do you actually need in your pyjamas? Like, what is the man wearing? Oh, wait. One night it slipped out of his sweats and I woke up with it near my legs. Okay, the man is literally sleeping in joggers. He must be an absolute bath of sweat in the evening, just trying to hold his phone. His legs are probably like half the size of his top half. Don't like that thing when people run and they wrap themselves in cling film or whatever to lose weight. I don't know if that really works. And actually, me and my friend did go through a phase where we used to do that back home. We used to go for a run down the river with cling film wrapped around us, which is actually really embarrassing. But anyway, if that does work, this man's legs are probably like toothpicks. Because who's sleeping in sweats? Joggers in bed, I can't think of anything worse. Definitely hiding something, major red flag. He was still asleep and I was honestly going to put it on charge, but I saw a bunch of notifications from a dating app. Stuff like this is the universe looking for you, because he's been sleeping with that phone in his pocket for however many months, and tonight is the night the universe is like, you need to see what's on this phone. It's like, sorry if I'm saying their names wrong, but Ariana or Adriana Mannix. Why do I try and say people's names and I don't know them? Ariana Mannix or something, and Tom Scandival. I don't know if that's their names, but you'll know what I mean. They're from oh my god, I don't know. They're from Selling Sunsets, I think. But basically, they were together for like 10 years. And she had his phone, and she always knew his password for his phone. They always had each other's phones. Like, obviously, it was never an issue. And one night, he was performing somewhere, and she was videoing him and taking pictures. And she had his phone, and she said there was something in her. Out of nowhere, bear in mind, they've been together all these years, lived together, like super serious long-term relationship. And she said out of nowhere, she just had this impulse to check his phone. And then she went to the bathroom, she checked and she'd found out that he was having an affair with her friend. Shocking. But yeah, this is what I mean with sometimes the universe is like, you need to know what's going on, and I'm going to show you. And I feel like that's the same type of thing. I was obviously furious and wanted to slap him awake, but I didn't. I decided I was going to be smarter than that. So I started thinking, what can I possibly do in this situation that is going to be a good enough revenge? Oh, I can't lie, I love it. I love the power of women, that we're able to keep things quiet and come up with a master plan. Like, you've got to appreciate the game and the loyalty and the dedication there. I think I told her before, my friend did something similar. She found this is years ago, she found messages on her boyfriend's phone, and she kept it to herself for like a week while she was like figuring out like what to do. It was wild. I decided I was going to create a fake profile on the dating site. I asked one of my friends that he hasn't met to send me some pics to create the profile so I could see if we matched. She was 100% his type, so I knew that would be the case. I mean, wow, you go, girl. I feel like that's giving yourself added trauma, but you go for it. She was 100% his type, so I knew that would be a case. We matched and started talking. Oh my God. Obviously, I'm blinded with aggression and adrenaline inside me all the way through this, but we started talking, flirting, and I just thought I have to go full force with this, so I suggest we meet up. Stuff like this is the stuff of movies. Isn't this what happens in The Other Woman? Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I've seen it, but I can't remember it. But this is the type of shit that goes down in movies. I suggested he get us a hotel, and he said yes. Mind you, he's unemployed. I'm sorry, they're always unemployed in this situation. The amount of stories I've seen, read, heard of, the man is always unemployed. I knew it. I knew this next part was going to happen before we even got to it. I've been providing for this relationship since he lost his job, so I've been draining my savings account for about a year now. A year. That's why he's not looking for a job, because he's getting paid for. And this is what I mean by, like, how in this economy, in this day and age, is this man pulling 2 women based on the fact he's living off his girlfriend's savings? Like, the audacity of it. He's been draining my savings account for about a year now, yet he accepts to pay for a random girl's hotel room. He used to also be so manipulative with this and make me feel guilty if I didn't help him with his money. Of course he did. Saying things like, we're supposed to help each other when we're going through tough spots. Oh. Honestly, the amount of stories we get here, and still I'm just shocked by people's audacity. Never fails to amaze me. Anyway, after we'd arranged the hotel room, he comes to me, the real me, and asked me for £50 for his mother's birthday. At this point, it's funny to me, so I give it to him, and he leaves to go see his mother. I kiss him goodbye, tell him to have a good time, putting on the performance of my life. I just want to know where people's morals go. I understand that, you know, sometimes you can do bad things. Sometimes it's a little bit touch and go, you know. Your values get questioned occasionally. But you're not working for a year. You're getting money off somebody else, and then you're asking her to pay for a hotel room that you're getting with somebody else. Like, at what point is your moral compass saying this isn't going to be good? Whilst he's gone, I pack all of his stuff up from my house and leave it outside. Meanwhile, he's messaging the other me on the app. He's asking for more pics of me, but I'm putting him off with excuses, saying that I'm running late. My friend was a real one though, and she did send me a couple of new pics so I could send over to keep him on track. I kept him waiting until 1 a.m. and then I sent him pictures of his stuff outside my house with a caption, "Enjoy your stay at the hotel." Oh my God. Imagine if you were him getting that text. The panic and fear that you would feel, because you think you've pulled off the most amazing thing. You think you've got your girlfriend is happy. She thinks you're off with your mother. You've managed to bag this other hottie. You're getting pictures of her. You're in this hotel that you're not even paying for. Like, you think you've executed the perfect plan. And then you get that message. Like, the shock. That my stomach would probably fall out of me. I can't even deal with that. He rang me straight away. I hung up, blocked his number, and went to bed. Oh my God, I love it. You were sleeping away peacefully, and he's probably having chronic diarrhea through anxiety. So Monday comes after work and he's at my door, ugly crying, telling me he has nowhere to go, etc. I told him I wasn't having any of it, and as usual, he gets angry, grabbing me to get in the house. Oh, hell no. So I called the police. He was threatening and aggressive, and so I now have a restraining order, and he's moved a few hours away from here. Well, that sounds like a win to me, gal. I heard he has a job now, and I just hope he learns his lesson. I mean, I hope so, but at least he's working. That's a good thing. Definitely could have been doing that in the year that you've been providing for him, can I just say. He's managed to get a job like that now that he's got no other backup. Classic. But I just feel like he's gonna have to go to therapy. You know, I always am a preacher for it, but you know, at what point is your moral compass not screaming out to you to take a long, hard look at yourself when you're at a hotel, supposedly with somebody else that your girlfriend's paying for? Like, it's going to take a lot of work, I think, to undo that and just change. But who knows? My fingers are crossed. Okay, let me catch you up what I've been up to since I last spoke to you. I went on a family holiday, which was honestly so nice. And I would recommend to anyone, if you can, to spend some time with kids because it was so good. So basically my family go on this holiday every year. They go to Holland. I don't know why, it's random. They went once years ago when my sister was small. They loved it and they've been going every year since, right? So I've been going on these holidays a lot over the years, and it's funny because I have taken partners on them, but lots of the time I'm just by myself there. And like this year I'm by myself. I'm sat in the back of the car next to my two young nephews with my sister and my brother-in-law driving, and I'm basically like their third child. I'm just fifth wheeling the family. It would be tragic if I didn't find it so funny, to be fair. But honestly, like spending time with kids, you just get to do the things that are not socially acceptable, but that you still enjoy. Like for some reason, as you grow up, it's frowned upon to run around and to colour and to, I don't know, go on trampolines and go on the rides in parks and like all these things you're taught to like grow out of, but they still give you a lot of joy. Like we went to the theme park and it was so fun. I mean, I love roller coasters anyway, but I just like used the opportunity to just really lean into my role as the cool, fun auntie. Like that's always where I want to be. And the holiday was just the perfect time to do it. And I think I just thought to myself, like I had like zero fucks to give about what anyone thought. So did I have my nephew's goggles on at one point in the swimming pool, going down the slide with him, jumping off the diving board? And when I tell you I was the only adult in that pool doing any of that stuff, but did I care? No, quite frankly, I didn't. I was in the park with them. I was running around with them. The theme park. I just had a lot of fun. And oh, do you know what though? I went to this like farm park thing, and there was a trampoline there, and for whatever reason, and I don't know why, I think it's not socially acceptable anymore for an adult to go on a trampoline. And I don't know why, because the whole time I was there and the kids were like playing with the goats and stuff. Obviously, I had a little play and I was just sat down. And the whole time I was just like, I want to go on that trampoline. I just want to have a jump about and a bounce around. But I thought I can't. If I go on that trampoline, like people are going to look at me wherever. Anyway, as soon as my youngest nephew went on it, best believe I was like, I'm using him as the opportunity to go on it. Went on, I was having loads of fun. And it was really good for my soul. However, I did, do you remember when you were younger, you used to do that? Like you used to jump up and then sit on your bum and then jump back up again on your feet. Oh my God, guys. I did that. This was maybe 3.5 weeks ago. My lower back is still not okay. I've still not recovered from it. The impact, I felt it straight away. I jumped up, I sat down and I went, oh, my back. And then, to be fair, maybe that's why adults don't do it, because we're actually too old to be doing that stuff anymore, unless you're, a gymnast. But, yeah, my back's not okay. I don't know if I've slipped a disc. I don't really know what that means, but if I was ever to slip a disc, this is the time that it feels like. Just my left-hand side. Yeah, it's not okay. But anyway, yeah, I've been talking to my friend about kind of stuff like this, similar stuff, where she was saying like it's really important to find things that make you happy, like truly happy. And when I told her like I was having a break from the podcast and stuff, she was like, you need to find things that, not things that you think you should be doing or like anything, even to work towards your future, but just stuff that makes you happy and like your inner child happy and stuff. And I feel like that's where I took on board and I went Holland, and yeah, it was really good. I even bought myself like pens and stationery and like notebooks and stuff as if I was going back to school. I basically turned into a child, but yeah, it was really fun. And then she was saying something similar, that she kind of fell out with this guy who's friends with her boyfriend, and the guy asked her to go to some like event and she didn't really want to, and she was just like, I don't want to, it's going to make me uncomfortable, and I'm only really would be doing it for him, because her boyfriend was fine with her not going. And we were just like, we're kind of over doing stuff that's not going to be fun for us or not enjoyable. And then I remembered, the Kim Cattrall quote where she said, I don't want to be in a situation even for an hour where I'm not enjoying myself. I'm just like, do you know what, preacher? So yeah, that's my motto for the rest of the year and my whole life moving forward. Not doing shit that I don't want and that I don't enjoy. Oh, I'm seeing a new therapist. So, well, my other therapist doesn't know this, but I finished my like things with her, and I get them through work, but I didn't want to keep with the same one, so hopefully she doesn't see this. Do you know, I loved her for a time, but it was time to move on, and oh my God, I feel like this is the first time I'm in actual real therapy. And yeah, she was really good. So that's exciting. That was like a big thing. I think it's a big thing when you're looking for a therapist, and then you've got to find one, then you have a lesson. Like, it was literally like I had commitment issues with this therapist. Like, I barely wanted to meet her. She offered to do a first session. I was like, I just want to do 10 minutes for now. And then even after that, I literally said to her, I was like, I just don't want to commit to you because, I've been there, done that. And like, it's got to be crunch time for me now, and I can't do another like 10 sessions with somebody unless it's going to be right. So anyway, we're going through it. It's good. I will obviously keep you posted. Okay, I have another love story for us. My mother died on the first day of school. She'd been really sick that entire summer, and she passed away on a Monday at 7 a.m. Almost exactly the time I'd be leaving for school. I don't think I fully grasped how traumatic it was for me. I was there when she took her last breath. I comforted my little sister while she said goodbye, and the next week I had to start classes at a brand new school. I was a junior at the time. All the teachers knew what happened, and they had told all the students, so everyone was pitying me when I showed up. I met Alex that very first day. We were in choir together. We became friends almost immediately, but we didn't start dating until we were both cast as leads in the musical. We became more serious during college, and we ended up getting married right after graduation. Oh, that's like proper childhood sweetheart, so cute. I felt so sad that my mother couldn't see any of it. Every time a big event would happen, it would be like, she's not here. Which, yeah, I feel like that obviously is just the hardest thing, I think, when you lose somebody. I remember a quote from somebody saying before that, like, all your happiest moments are then, like, tinged with sadness. Yeah, I think it's really, really hard. Every time a big event would happen, I would be like, she's not here and she's never going to be here. I was a moody, shitty teenager when she passed, and I'm having this whole life where I become the person I'm supposed to be, and she doesn't get to see any of it. She's not going to see me graduate, and it especially sucks that she'll never get to meet Alex. We lit a lantern at our wedding to signify that my mother was still with us. It was a beautiful ceremony, and afterwards we took our honeymoon in Hawaii. A few days into the trip, I received a call from my oldest friend. She sounded excited. She just discovered a picture of our childhood football team, and there was a boy who looked just like Alex. When I showed Alex the photo, he confirmed that it was him. I just started laughing. It was such a God moment. It was a moment where everything felt connected. Alex and I had known each other as children, back when my mother was still alive. The first thing I did was call my dad. I asked him if he remembered anything about the football team. He said, I remember the goalie. During the games, he'd always sit down in the net and play with the dirt, and your mother found it hilarious. Alex was the goalie. That literally gives me goosebumps. It's just that amazing feeling that I think everything is connected and things happen sometimes like so magically. I'm super spiritual, and I believe like the universe, has got a plan and it works things out. And I just feel like even in the shittiest of situations, it has your back. And I don't know, little things like that are so special, and I never think they're coincidences ever. Actually, nowhere near as deep as this, but I went to Paris super last minute. So I really took it upon myself to just say yes to everything this year. I mean, you know how many trips and stuff I've been on. I'm just like, wherever. To be fair, I say this year is pretty much me anyway. If you catch me at the right moment, I'm just like, yeah, I'm down for wherever. So I basically booked to go at like 10 o'clock the night before, last minute. But it was so much fun. And yeah, this was what was crazy. The next day, obviously, because I'd booked separately to my friend. So basically, I went with my friend and I met my other two friends out there. But because I booked separately, I texted my friend saying, what seat and carriage you? Because I'll move to be next to you. And she was in the exact same carriage as me, and she was the seat next to me, just by complete chance. Can you believe that? I was like, oh my God, if I was unsure I'd made the right decision, this has just cemented it. Like, meant to be. But yeah, I think a good thing as well when you do something like super last minute is you have very low expectations, especially because Paris, I've been before, I've seen it. So it's not like I was, desperate to go and see something. So I was just like really chilled. And I think that's a really good way to do a trip when you're not really bothered about what you do and you can just go with the flow. And yeah, it was a good chance for all of us. Like, we all went out, we went to a nightclub, and I feel like if we'd planned to go to a nightclub, the four of us, it probably would have taken 3 months in the making and like maybe not even come off. Now in London, do you know what I mean? I'm kind of over nightclubs in London now. I went to the same club that I went to last time in Paris. It's called Lark. It's really fun. Although I can't party like I used to. Literally, I got in at like 4:30. Woke up, I thought it was the middle of the night. I woke up to my friend being sick. And I literally was like, my eyes were shut. I was like, what's the time? Looked at my phone. It was 9:45 in the morning. I was like, oh my God. None of us could move until maybe 2 o'clock. We were literally bedbound. And then we were like, why did we do this to ourselves? But you know what? Sometimes it's needed. You just need to have a big night out and lay here down to now. So no regrets. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much. If you've made it back and you haven't forgotten about me after these weeks away, then thank you. I'm very grateful. Please send your stories to me. If you've got stories, dilemmas, love stories, date stories, we want to hear them all. I literally want these episodes to be like jam-packed with your stories. More than mine, to be fair. But I don't know, let me know if you prefer that. But yeah, please let me know what you've been up to. Send everything to sadie@lovewhatluck.com, or you can DM me on Instagram. I'm at Sadie Maltby or at lovewhatluck. And obviously make sure you're following me. Please make sure you're subscribed, and please make sure you're following me on Spotify. And yeah, help a gal out, and I will speak to you next Tuesday. Bye. Thanks, guys.